Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. There's still some people joining, but we're going to get started to keep things on time. So let's go into that now for you. So welcome to our webinar this afternoon. We're going to tell you and show you how to use mondaycom to manage all of your marketing team and help drive growth with that. So my name is Martin McNamara at ProvidentCRM. My colleague Daniela and Z are also joining us this afternoon to tell you a little bit about how we do this. We're going to show you some examples of how you can use Monday to manage your marketing campaigns. And we're going to give you some real examples of how Daniela has used it to drive our own particular marketing growth. And just tell you a little bit more about it and show you actually what it might look like for you. Any questions at any stage, please add them in the chat and we'll try to get to those at the end. So we've got about an hour scheduled here. We're going to run through a couple of different bits and then we should have time for questions at the end. So please do add them in there at any stage and we'll either answer them in the chat or we'll answer them in the question stage at the end. So agenda today, I'm just going to tell you real briefly about who we are at Provident and how we can help you. Z is going to tell you a little bit about monday.com and who Monday are and how they've grown successfully. We're going to give you some live examples of how we have used monday.com to drive our marketing growth and show you some actual metrics around what we've done and how we've managed that. And then we're going to give you some actual examples of using monday.com boards and setting them up to manage your marketing team, your marketing plans, your marketing campaigns. And then, as I said, at the end, we'll have the question and answer session. So as I said, my name is Martin McNamara. I'm here at ProvidentCRM. We've been using Monday now for quite a while. Big fans of the product, really powerful, lots and lots of use cases. The one we're focusing on today, as I mentioned, is marketing, which is one of the top use cases globally for Monday. Quick word just on us, just to explain who we are. We're a monday.com certified partner. We've been around for a little while, a lot of experience with CRM applications, marketing applications, really focused on delivering solutions for you, helping implement them for you and matching them to your specific requirements. We're a monday.com partner, as I mentioned. We're also a partner with a couple of other CRM tools as well, so it gives us a good overview of the different solutions that are out there and how they can be used to suit your particular business. In terms of some of the services that we provide, quite broad. We can help with consulting in terms of advising best product for you, how best to implement it, how best to set it up to suit your requirements, integrating it with existing tools that you may have in the business, or equally integrating with other tools to help bring additional functionality to it. And then when the product's all set up and running to suit that, training people so everybody's up to speed with how to use it, and then back around again to ongoing consultancy and assistance to ensure you get the most out of the product. I'm going to hand over to Z now for a moment. Z is going to tell you just a little bit about monday.com, and then we'll move on then to Daniela after that. Z, over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Martin, and good afternoon again to everyone who's on the call. So as Martin mentioned, I'm Z Wang. I'm the channel partner manager here at monday.com. My role is focused around working with our partners, working really closely with Martin, Daniela, and the rest of the fantastic Provident team. And prior to joining Monday, I've about 10 years experience in automation software and in working in ad tech as well. So marketing is definitely one of those topics that's very close to my heart. So to kick off with a very short overview of Monday as a company, we actually started out as an idea in 2012 where our co-founders saw a gap for a tool that could help a lot of companies and a lot of people to organize processes and workflows. And from there, they spent a couple of years creating the first version of Monday to get it in a place where customers would really enjoy using the product. And as you can see from this slide as well, since then, our growth has really been pretty phenomenal, and we've had a very, very exciting journey thus far. As a business, we are headquartered in Tel Aviv, but we've recently increased our headcount significantly. So we're now up to 800 employees across 6 different locations across the globe. And one of the things for us that we're especially proud of is we have about 120,000 companies using monday.com across all different types of teams and use cases. As Martin said, marketing is one of the most common use cases, so really excited to dive into that more later on. But from this client list, you can see that there's no real trend as to the verticals that it performs especially well for. So we're very happy to say that Monday is a system that can be used, from companies as different as IBM and Coca-Cola, but also our customers come in all shapes and sizes. So it's as easy to use for a Unilever as it would be for a business that's just starting out or is a small, medium enterprise. And this is my final slide. So before I pass the mic over to Daniela and hear about how she's using Monday internally, I wanted to spend a couple of minutes just talking about what Monday is as a system as well. So as I mentioned, we work with a lot of companies, and throughout that time, we hear from companies all the time that in pretty much every department or team, there are a few processes that could be more efficient and managed better. And so if that resonates with yourself, don't worry, you're certainly not alone in that aspect. One other thing as well is that when there are so many projects happening in parallel, and some of those span different teams, it can be really difficult to collaborate with your counterparts in, say, product or operations, simply because you might be using different systems, or you might have started working on something only to realize at the very end that both teams have started on the same project without collaborating. So that also is compounded, I think, by the fact that we're all at the moment mostly working from home. So collaboration is something which becomes even more challenging. Now, the results of this really can lead to a lot of issues within businesses. So things can get lost and fall through the cracks. We have a lot of marketing clients who previously were managing their processes in spreadsheets, which, as you all know, take a lot of time to update, and data can easily be lost within those. But also it means that you might be spending a lot of time over communicating with your colleagues as well. So you might have a lot of email threads about a simple project. And we just think there's a much better way to handle all of that. So this is where monday.com comes in. We've created a work operating system, which essentially we see as the backbone for a lot of different teams within the business. So that means that the system is flexible enough to be used pretty much by every department. Of course, today we will be talking in depth about marketing, but similarly, we have a lot of customers using us to manage projects, to use as a sales pipeline, even for hiring as well. And monday.com, as the workforce operating system, acts as the backbone that connects all of those teams together to improve the collaboration, but also allow teams to really confidently run those processes and those workflows, but also keep track of that data and surface it for reporting as well. And then the final point from my side is that, as someone who's used technology for a long time, I'm very happy to report that Monday is really simple to use. We have a lot of great solutions and great templates that all of our customers can enjoy. And really the goal of that is to allow yourselves to implement and use Monday within a matter of minutes. So there's no long integration times or implementation timelines that you have to spend, and ultimately that leads to more productivity. So over to you, Daniela.
Thanks, E. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniela. I'm the marketing manager here at ProvidentCRM. And my main goal at this company is, the main objective is drive growth to the business and implement the marketing plan Next slide, please. Yes. So I'm going to share with you today how Monday helped us to implement our marketing plan and manage everything in one single place, from planning, tracking, and delivering all the marketing campaigns in one workplace. So here's a very short overview of our marketing team progress. I started in the company February last year, and 6 months after we hired one person to the team, was a copywriter. In November, we started implementing Monday. In December, we hired one more person, so we are a team of 3. In January, we approved all the marketing plan, marketing budget, and also implemented the lead generation strategy. So only 4 months after we using Monday, we have in March delivered all the KPIs we had planned at the beginning of the month. So it was a very good progress so far. And in May, this month, we're going to hire one more person. So we're going to be a team of 4. As we all know, we are working from home. Work remotely is a little bit challenging. So having everything in one place makes a lot of difference for the team. So some of you are probably feeling lost, as was feeling last year, and with too many spreadsheets, and it was like really difficult to update all of them. The lack of collaboration and also communication with your team was a huge issue. And I had everything by email. All the communication, all the campaigns update was by email. So I was really getting lost, all the updates in progress. Also, I didn't have the track for every single campaign, so that I couldn't really know the time spent in all those campaigns we are running last year. And last but not least, very important, is the performance. We need to have a performance dashboard where we could see all the campaigns and the revenue from those campaigns. Here's how it looks like before. And in your right, you can see the marketing plan was in spreadsheet, and very old-fashioned way. I was getting lost. I spent a lot of time updating it, and actually didn't add much value to the CEO or the other teams and other parts of the teams. It was mostly spent a lot of time, and they didn't really get interested to update either. So I started using Jira in your left. That's the first webinar we were running last year for Monday. It was very limited. I couldn't create board for every single for every campaign. I didn't have the performance dashboard in Jira. I couldn't track the progress of our campaigns, and I couldn't really collaborate with the team. So it was extremely limited for me, and that's where I decided to change for Monday. So that's how it looks like today, our Monday, on Monday, our marketing plan. It's with all the details, all the tracks, and also every single task placed on Monday. So I can have overview, where's the priority campaigns, where's the timeline, when is going to be the deadline, also the track of those campaigns. And next one, please. So that's a good example of the webinar. As you saw before, was only one task, and I couldn't see it very well. So here I have all the tasks in one board, and I actually add in this video, one of the tasks is actually creating that video, and you can see the priority, the status of that, the timeline and deadline, and also very important, how long time I'm going to spend working this task. So I could actually plan and knowing how many hours my team is going to work in this task. And then I could define the KPIs. How many leads do I need for this campaign? How much to cover all the time invested in money invested? So here is a concept I use. It works very well, fail fast and fail often. So we have an idea, we have a campaign. Then we launch the campaign with the A/B testing. And then we ask after 2 weeks, we have the question, does it work? If it doesn't work, we stop. If it works, we continue. But then we have the last and the most important question, does it make money? And does it deliver the revenue you need? How about your return on investment? So if it doesn't deliver anything, we just stop. We just don't waste much time on one single campaign. Next slide, please. So here's an example. We have a test campaign with the A/B testing and take 2 weeks to run. After 2 weeks, we define if that has or not delivered any results. We go to the STAR campaign and track all the return on investment. And this STAR campaign takes 4 weeks to run. And then if this works really well, we continue. If it doesn't work, we stop. So here's a very quick overview of the Q1 results so far. It was delightful to see how the progress in very short time, only 4 months, actually using Monday. We have 282% of growth in lead generation, 36% in new customers come from marketing, 35% conversion in MQLs, which is extremely important for us marketers. 58% increase on marketing campaigns launch. That is where the A/B, the fail fast, fail often comes from. That's loads of campaigns we have been running in testing, always about testing. 276% increase in content submission. So as you can see, has been a fantastic Q1. And of course, there are a lot of room to improve to the next Q2 and Q3, Q4. But so far, we are really happy using mondaycom to our campaigns. So I'm going to pass to Martin. He's going to show you around how it looks like a marketing board. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniela. Great to get an insight into how you're actually using it yourself, and interesting to hear some of the different ways that you're doing that. So I'm going to take you now through just an example of how Monday can look for you in terms of managing a marketing campaign. So you can all see now my Monday workspace, my marketing solution workspace. So I'm just going to talk through this for a few minutes and just give you some indications as to how this can work. So just for those of you who aren't familiar with Monday, I'm just going to explain a little bit about what we're looking at, and then I'm going to go into some more detail around specifically the solution setup that we have here. So what we're looking at, main part of our screen is a Monday board. Over on the left-hand side, we've got our workspace called Marketing Solution in this case. And then down below, we've got various different folders for various different aspects of our marketing solution. So we've got some campaign and performance ones, some campaign details, some templates, and then some folders for other different aspects of our marketing operations. So content, products, field marketing, events, digital asset management, and so on. So that's on the left-hand side, our marketing solution. Then in the middle here, the main part of our screen is our actual board. And what we're looking at here, let me just fix this, is our high-level plan. So this is our overall picture of the campaigns that we have running. And this could typically be a rolling plan through 12, 18 months, longer than that. And you can see we split it then into groups, depending upon what stage we are at with the campaign. So I'm just going to expand these out, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we're looking at. This doesn't want to move for me. So as you can see, we've got different groups: requested, scheduled, live, completed, different stages of campaigns, and we've captured different bits of information around them. So at a basic level, we want to see things like who's responsible for that particular campaign, what are the dates when it's running, do we have any metrics in terms of profitability or cost against this, and then we can expand further and we capture different aspects of the campaign. So in terms of approval, research, creative, copy, design, etc. So we can run through all the different aspects that relate to the campaign, and I'll show you then how these then tie into the overall progress against the campaign. Before I do that though, I want to give you an example of how we'd actually go about creating a new campaign. So we've got a form here, which is built as part of the setup. And this is what the form looks like when it's published out. So I've got a new campaign going on, or a new campaign I'd like to request from the marketing team that they set up. So I'm going to call my campaign webinar, as we're on a webinar here now today. And I'm going to say, well, I need this campaign to take place from next week until next June. And it's going to be gaining attendees for my webinar. I can add some files around here if I want to. Priority, it's always high priority, so I'm going to click 5-star. I'm going to click various different bits around it. It's an email campaign, what platform it's going out on, any other channels I might be using for it, the region, etc. And in here, I can add more info about it. Okay, so I fill in the details as required. This is customized. I can make this custom to suit my particular requirements. I'm going to submit that now. That's done. I've submitted my request. My job for the moment is done. So we look back here at our high level plan and look what that looks like and what happens from here. So we can see now in our requested group here, we've now got a new item in here, which is called webinar, which was the title of the campaign that I requested. It's captured the detail around it. It's put in the dates. It's put in my campaign description. And I've got that bit of narrative around what I'm requesting from the campaign. I could expand on this further. Obviously, I could also add documents or files as required. But for the moment, I'm requesting a campaign. It goes in here, and the next task then is for someone to review that campaign and determine whether it should be approved or not. So at the moment, approval is pending. So let's run through the workflow of what can happen in terms of that campaign being approved and what happens next. And what this is going to show you is some of the power of Monday, that it's not just relying upon us entering information into it, but also about Monday doing some work for us and automating some of the tasks. So I'm going to say this campaign is approved. I've reviewed it. I think it's worthwhile. We're going to do it. So I'm going to click approved, and it's gone now from a requested group because it's been requested, and a couple of things have happened in the background which I'm going to show you. So we come down here to scheduled campaigns, and we can now see that webinar is now down here as a requested campaign. It's automatically being assigned to, in this case, me, as the owner, as the marketing manager for this particular campaign. It's taken in the dates and the other information that I inputted originally around it, and it's passed those all across and put them into the scheduled campaigns group. It has also done some other things over here. It's changed the research stage to ready to start, and actually started a timer on that as well. So research is now ready to start on my webinar campaign, and the timer has started running. So that's one of the automations that has taken place. There are a couple of others that have taken place as well. It's also created a detail level campaign around this particular campaign. So I've got my high level dashboard, which we're on here, and this is my overview, but I want to see the detail level around that particular campaign. So automatically, Monday has created a dedicated detail level board around my webinar campaign. So here's my new board, which was created from that automation as a result of it being approved. And this now goes through using a template, sets up the various different stages for delivery on this particular campaign. So I've used my templates to fill this in. So you can see now I've got my 6 different stages, which I need to tick off in order to accomplish my actual campaign that I've set out. So I've got my research, creative, copy, design, review, and then finally launch. And then I can expand into all those, and I can detail out the tasks that need to take place against it. So this is using a template that I've set up, which says for every campaign or every type of campaign, you may remember I picked email campaign originally. For every type of campaign that I have, this is the template I'm going to use. And it's going to give me the tasks related to each different stage. And then we can set up further automations that could automatically assign people to it, can automatically put together dependencies in terms of dates. and put all that together. So we've got the detail around what needs to happen to deliver on this particular campaign. So this is using the campaign templates which we have set up here, and we can have different campaign templates set up depending upon the different type of campaign that we're running. The key thing about this then as well is if we look at what's happening here is this is linked back up then to my high level. So it's allowing me to delve into the detail here at this point in terms of what I need to tick off, what I need to accomplish on a day-to-day basis to achieve my campaign, but it's also reflecting back up to my high-level board. So I come back up to my high-level board. We just look here for a moment. So research, copy, creative design, etc. They're all the details that are here at that level. And when we come back up to our high-level plan, that's matching into, I'm just going to take off the time tracking to make it a bit cleaner for us to see. That's matching into here. So we can see then how the detail level boards then are going to reflect back up into here. And as the detail level changes, it's going to change here from the overall perspective so that I can see what's going on from an overall perspective. So that's just one quick example of the type of automations that can happen in terms of creating a campaign, approving a campaign, and then creating the detailed tasks to manage that campaign. Just to show you how that works, we've got automations set up. So this is what drives that activity. The automations are really simple to set up, but really, really powerful at the same time. So we can see, for example, when the approval was set to approved, it automatically created a new board and notified me because I was assigned to it. So there's lots of other automations going on then as well. So whenever things change, whenever certain statuses are achieved, whenever things are ticked off, we can move things from stage to stage automatically. So if different people are assigned different tasks, they can see that at those particular stages, and they can get alerts and notifications around them. So there is a whole automation center which allows us to set up these automations. Again, really, really powerful. It might be something that happens every day, every week, every month. It could be something around notifications. So when something is done, notify somebody. We can tie that together as well with a status. So maybe if a deadline is coming up and a status is still not completed, for example, maybe we want to notify somebody, escalate it, do something about it. Lots of different things that we can do on that. We can put in dependencies. So in other words, a certain activity can't take place until another activity is finished, different things like that. And if we can't find an existing automation that does what we want to do, we can create custom automations as well, very, very simply, and add those to our boards. So one of the automations that was in there was a notification to me that I'd been assigned a task. So we can see here up at the top left, notifications, and I've got a notification that that campaign board was created around my webinar, new board webinar, and that's there and that's assigned to me. So great, we've got our detail level going on. We've got our high level campaigns. We've got our detail level going on, and we can work through all those. That's great. How are we going to, though, show some of those numbers around what's happening? We need to show the metrics. We need to show the performance of what's happening from our campaigns. So that's where the dashboards comes in. So we'll have a quick look at our dashboard here, and this is going to show us the detail around. I'm just going to refresh here just for a second so I can get rid of the menu screen there on the left-hand side. So this is a dashboard which is going to show us some of the metrics and KPIs that matter to us around a campaign and what that looks like. We'll click this now and hopefully, yes, it's worked great. So here's our performance dashboard relating to our campaigns for 2020, okay? And we can put this together to measure and present that information in whatever way makes sense to us. It's all well and good from a marketing point of view. We've got our colors, we've got our boards, it all looks nice. But from a reporting, from a CEO, from a management level, they want to know about the numbers. So how do we present those numbers? Well, the good news is if we've got that detail level in the board and we're updating the boards, we could automatically update this dashboard and show those metrics that are important. So in this case, we're looking at some numbers around profit and loss, because that obviously is important in terms of the campaigns are ultimately about driving revenue and sales. And it shows us then the campaigns that are working, or not working, as the case may be. So again, going back to one of Daniela's points earlier on about failing fast and failing often, we need to know if the campaign works or not. We need to know if it's successful. So how do we do that? We capture the information around it, and then we can present it here. We can look at those different campaigns, those profitable or unprofitable campaigns, and understand and review then what happened with those. We can look at budget. We can see where the spend was, what the expected spend was, how it differed. We can see by person. Maybe certain people are overrunning on budget versus others. Why is that? It's only by having this kind of level of detail that we can start digging into it and understanding more about it. So this is pulling that information from those detail level boards we've created. We don't have to update this report, this campaign, this dashboard automatically updates as long as we're keeping our boards updated. So we're working on our boards at a detail level, ticking off our day-to-day tasks, and that's automatically filling in here then to our performance dashboard so that we can see what's going on. So as long as the info is there at the detail level, we can report on it easily here at the higher level. So that's some ideas around overall campaigns, overall performance. We want to look at some other aspects then as well that Monday can manage within this. So let's have a look then at some of the other areas that we can do. So I've covered campaign and performance. I'm just going to close that down. We've covered the campaign detail for our new webinar. These are where we've created our different templates, which create that low-level board depending upon the different type of campaign that we're running. So we've got various different categories of campaign. We can create different templates to suit those. I won't go through all of them now. Content. Everybody needs content, right? For whatever kind of campaign we're running, we're going to need content in some shape or form, whether it's audio, video, whether it's an image, a document, whatever it might be, we need content, okay? So how are we going to do that? Similar type of workflow, different level of information obviously required here. So in this case, again, we've split this out into various different stages for those various different projects. So incoming projects, ones that are ongoing, completed ones, and rejected ones as well. So let's just look at a little more detail at what they look like. So similar incoming requests, we're going to get content requests both internally and externally, and we need to capture information around those, and again, put dates, put people against them. So we can see, for example, we've got different people columns here. We've got the requester, we've got the project manager, we've got the creative, copywriter, designer, etc. So all the people that are related to creating that content, they've all got a role to play in this, and they can all be assigned against it. We've got then stages related to them. So in terms of the type of content that it is, we can determine what that is, and we can set it up to match your specific requirements. So whatever type of requirement it is that you have. We've got various different stages then in terms of that actual request. What stage is that? Where is it on? Versioning, maybe we've got different types, different levels of version we may need to go through to get to our final one. We can upload files, briefing files, documents may be associated with that. We can add them in here. We can link to other descriptions. We can show obviously progress, which is really important. And what's good here is this progress then is tied to various different stages. So for example, if we look here, we can see our progress is related to various different statuses that we need to achieve, and we can allocate the progress against those status as required to suit your particular requirements. So we build this board with as much or as little information as we need in terms of the various different stages, the various different deadlines, the various different milestones along the way that we need to hit, launch dates, tags, etc. And again, all of this information that we're capturing here is going to be reflected then in our dashboards, a different dashboard now for this particular case. So we designed that board to capture it. And again, similar to before, we've designed a form which allows us to easily access those creative requests. So you're often going to get creative requests. So this is my, I'm just going to use a webinar example again. I need a blog post about it, some info about our webinar. Okay, can request that I need it to be next week. Let's say, so I'm going to pick the date. Initiative 1, channel, it's going to be LinkedIn. It's for Department 2. Request date, it's print, any other information I want to put in. Fill that information in here, submit that. Oops, I haven't filled in all the details. So what's happened here is I've made, as part of this, I've made some answers required. So in other words, I need that information as part of it. So I need my key messaging, I need my copywriter, I need my banner, etc. So I put in all that information, submit my form, and again, it's created that into my main table here. And here is my webinar request, automatically requested by me. And then again, we could run through that process next of how that's approved, how that's accepted, and what happens next. So run through each and every stage of what's happening. There are a lot of automations going on then on this board to drive that activity. So I'm just going to show you that real quickly. So again, similar to before, when the status of something changes, do something with it. So move it to another stage, notify somebody, reassign it to somebody, maybe make the next stage available. So in other words, certain stages are dependent upon prior stages happening. So we'll go through those and allow Monday to drive some of that activity for us, automatically notify people at various different stages. So lots and lots of activity happening here in the background to drive that request. So content, great, we've got all that. Then we've got, in this case, a content dashboard. So just showing us from an overall perspective what's going on from our content creation. So we've got calendars in terms of the various different activities that we have going on and when they're happening, our different projects, our approvals process, where it's at, and again, back to some numbers, excuse me, around budget and so on, in terms of what we're spending our content budget on, what type of requests we're getting. We can see blog posts is a big percentage, banners are big as well, on-demand webinars. So we can drill into this detail as much as we like. So I can expand on this and I can see, okay, webinar on demand, what does that actually look like? And this can expand and show me that detail level behind it. So really, really key that in terms of not just presenting the high level information, but also the low level information. So it gives me that ability to drill into the detail behind it, which I think is super important. Sorry, I'll just come back to my dashboard there. Here we are. So again, this can be designed to capture whatever level of information we want. It's really just to suit your particular requirements. And again, if we've got that information down at the board level, then we can design the dashboard to capture the KPIs and the metrics that are important to you. Content, that's content real quickly. Product launch, another important aspect. So you can see here the structure is similar again in many cases. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at the high level product launch board. And we've got our campaigns right at the very top. Part of one of those campaigns might be product launch. So here we're going through similar thing again in terms of high level around those campaigns. So the various different launches that need to take place, when they're happening, who's responsible, what stage they're at, and we can expand further into each of those and do sub-items around them. Again, who's responsible, when they're happening, what's the timeline looking like for those launches, who's working on them when, lots of different information that we can capture around that. So same idea, we've got the high level, and then we can drill down then into the other information, the other activities that need to take place in relation to those product launches. Similar again, I'm not going to go through each of these boards, but you hopefully get the idea of how in depth we can go on this. So we've got our content requests related to it. We've got our email campaign requests, feature requests, etc. So lots and lots of different aspects we can cover for every single aspect you have in relation to your marketing. And again, dashboard built from this so that we can see overall what our product launching is looking like, when things are happening across different regions, how we're doing in terms of our KPIs, our metrics, how we're trending in terms of our releases, our social activities, our social impressions, even things like surveys. Where's our content breaking down? Where is the information coming from? What's getting the clicks? So lots and lots of ways that we can further delve into that product launch dashboard. And then we've done another one just here in terms of some KPIs specifically around that. So looking specifically around some of those metrics, some of those click-through rates, some of those impressions that we're getting across various different platforms, which is all feeding then into our overall perspective. I'm just going to spend probably another 5 minutes or so just talking through the last couple of bits on this, and then we'll move then to some questions then at the end. So I've covered content. I've covered product launch really briefly, and I appreciate I'm running through these quite quickly. Obviously, more than happy to talk to anybody afterwards and arrange a custom demo for you around any of these aspects that you might be interested in, so we can set that up for you afterwards. Field marketing, probably something that hasn't happened so much more recently, but hopefully coming back into vogue now at the moment. So again, we've set up a different folder here for field marketing. So overall perspective in terms of our field marketing for the year. We've got our dashboard here at the beginning. We can look at our annual events plan. Again, similar, we've got different groups for different stages. So planning, approved, execution, and done, and an overall summary of those. And again, this board is designed to capture the information we need for our annual event plan. So the various different statuses of our campaign in terms of what type of event it is, where it is, how it's taking place, regions, dates, targets, etc. And again, you can see how this is tied then into other information. So it's tied to sponsors, it's tied to vendors. Anywhere you see that little arrow, it's linking then to another column. So it's pulling information in from other areas of the system to present it to us as best as possible. So that's our overall plan. We've got our sponsors in here, potential sponsors, our vendors in here. So they're tied back into those campaigns. And then, as I said, the dashboard then around the field marketing, so we can actually see how we're doing in terms of our metrics, our KPIs, our targets for our campaigns, what they're looking like in terms of planning, in terms of our attendees, in terms of events by month, etc. So nice summary overview of those. Again, something I forgot to mention actually, which I really like about any of the dashboards, is once we've got these dashboards set up, we could schedule them to be sent every day, week, month, whatever it might be. I can schedule my dashboard to be emailed out to a certain number of subscribers as required. So really, really powerful. That just takes away that whole reporting aspect. I don't have to write a report. I don't have to create a report. I don't even have to email it. That can happen automatically. So we can do that on any of the dashboards that we've got. Last one I'm going to cover then just real quickly is in terms of our resource library. So obviously for any of these campaigns, we need to have an awful lot of resources. So let's have a look at how we can do that. So again, we're managing that within a specific board. So this is where we can capture our assets of whatever type they might be, whatever type of file they can be. We can see them in here. We can access them. We can share them. We can collaborate around them. So we can have our files in here. We can add them in here. We can see how they're related to what type of file they are. Sorry, my screen there. We can add them in here where they're visible from, and we can have all our assets contained in here, which we can then use throughout the other areas as required. The last one I'm going to show you just real quickly, customer advocacy board, in terms of if we're building up some user stories, some information from customers and what they've got to say to again help feedback into some of our content and maybe create some of those blog posts, some of those videos, some of those other information in terms of how other people are using our products. That is me for the moment in terms of what I'm going to talk to you about here for monday.com. As I said, I've run through this really, really quickly, a lot to show in it. As you can see, we can cover every aspect of your marketing campaign and really help give you an insight and an overview into what's happening. I'm going to move away from this now, and I'm going to move back to the to the presentation, and we'll take any questions that we might have from here now. So let me just check here now and see what kind of questions we've got. So we've got some questions just in terms of metrics. So how can we illustrate metrics to show the difference in campaigns before and after using monday.com in terms of things like time saved, different in budgets and goals and completions? Sure. So earlier on, Daniela spoke about this actually. The biggest challenge, I think, or not the biggest challenge, but certainly one of the big challenges in terms of measuring activities and measuring results. Certainly from a marketing perspective, that's quite that can be a challenge to do at all times. So by having our activities tracked and visible in Monday, we can then see them here and show that difference. So in Daniela's presentation, which we went through earlier on, there was some examples showing the difference it made since we've implemented Monday to manage our marketing and how that's driven results in terms of marketing qualified leads, in terms of revenue, in terms of hitting those targets. So that will be shared with us afterwards, and I can show you what that looks like. Let me just see what other.
Sorry, Martin. Just to add to that question, we've, as Martin mentioned before, that marketing is one of the most common use cases from our customers. And actually, on the mondaycom website, there is a user success story with Telefonica. So yeah, we can obviously share the link to that after this as well. But we basically have one of the users from Telefonica telling us some of the highlights of the impact on their marketing team. And the top line is that they've become 30% more efficient at delivering the hundreds of campaigns that they run every year. So absolutely happy to share the link to that as well.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. That's a really good point. There's loads of different use cases and studies available on the Monday website, which are accessible to you, or again, happy to talk to anybody afterwards and go through any of those questions you might have. Let me just see what else we've got here.
I have one question from Claire, Martin. Sure. She's asking, do you work with agencies and suppliers? And also she asked, do you add them to your marketing plan board? So I do work with agencies and suppliers, and I do add them to the marketing plan, but I limited their access to see the rest of the plan. So they only see their own board. So they actually add as a guest. So it's going to be quite limited information shared.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, and just further on that. So we can absolutely add guest users to our board, and what that means then is that they're free users. They don't cost anything to have. You can have an unlimited number of guest users. They're external people, and what we can do is we can define at what level they get access to their boards. So it may be that they only get access to certain boards, maybe they only get access to certain items, but it does mean that you can collaborate with third parties, whether that's external copywriters, video creators, whatever kind of external agency you might be using. You can actually add them to your board. They can have nearly the same level of access as you have, but you can control that. You can manage the granularity in terms of what they're actually doing and how that looks for them. I've got another question here just around recording this webinar. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to send you a recording when we're finished here of the full recording of the webinar. We're also going to send you some further information around this, and as I said, more than happy to run through in more detail how we can address this specifically for your particular use case as required.
There's one more question from Paul. How many boards can I have on monday.com, and how many people can be part of my marketing board?
Sure, good question. So you can have, I think it's an unlimited number of boards. I've never had a problem there in terms of the difficulty, in terms of limitations around that. And then you can have users as required. So it starts from, Monday starts from 3 users, and then goes to 5, and after there, then it's multiples of 5 that you need to add to it. And there's different types, different levels of user access, different types of accounts. So we can help you in terms of the one that suits your particular requirements for your particular business, your particular use case, your particular requirements. So again, talk to either myself or my colleague Candy afterwards, and we'll help you as best as possible identify the best plan that suits your requirements for your needs. We can also help then in terms of getting you set up and on board with Monday, customizing it then to suit your business, your needs, the particular campaigns that you need to run, the particular KPIs, metrics you need to have, the particular types of campaign that you run. So we can help you with that. And then, as I mentioned earlier on as well, we can also help in terms of user training to help your staff, your team get on board with Monday and understand how it works for them.
The last one, Martin. See, one more. How long do we have free trials? Yes, are we gonna?
Yeah, sure. So absolutely. So if you go to our website, ProvidentCRM.com, you can sign up for a free trial there. That will give you access to a 2-week free trial, fully functioning system. You can try everything you want on that. And when you do that, we're more than happy to help you get set up with that as well. That runs for 2 weeks. You can try that out. We can help you with it. And then if you want to move then or discuss with us either extending that trial or moving to a paid version, then absolutely we can help you with that. So again, if you go to our website, ProvidentCRM.com, search for Monday, you will see then from there how you can access the free trial. There's a link there in the chat, which Daniela has just put in. So thanks, Daniela. So if you follow that link there in the chat, that will bring you straight through, and you can sign up for a free trial there and then, and get to try it out for yourselves.
And the last question, Martin, is: do you offer training and implementation sessions?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a big part of what we do. Is in terms of, Monday's a very, very capable system, and it's capable of lots of different use cases. So today we've presented to you about marketing campaigns and how to manage and run those within Monday. Monday is also used for project management, for CRM, for HR, for manufacturing. Every kind of use case you can imagine, Monday is used for. Probably lots of use cases you can't imagine. So it's a very, very capable system, which means there's a lot of depth to it and a lot of capabilities behind it. So we do absolutely help in terms of setting up Monday, implementing Monday to match your requirements, integrating with other tools that you may have within the business, whether that's a CRM system, a finance system, a customer service system, whatever else it might be. We can help you with that. And then obviously training your team, your staff about how best to use Monday, best practices, how to get the most out of it. Those automations, which I showed you briefly earlier on, how to implement those and bring efficiency to your world and really save time, money, and effort, and deliver better in terms of your objectives and KPIs and metrics against those. So I think that looks like all we've got in terms of the questions for the moment. So thank you very much, everybody, for attending this afternoon. We will send you a recording afterwards of this. You have got access to a free trial should you wish to, following the link in the chat that's there at the moment. Alternatively, you don't have time or you can't access it at the moment, just let me know afterwards. I'm more than happy to provide you with access to that free trial. Equally, if you'd like to talk to us in more depth around how we help set up Monday to suit your market campaigns, please do let us know. Get in touch with myself. My email is there on the screen, or my colleague Candy as well can also help out there. Give us a call, get in touch. More than happy to help, and hope to talk to you all again very soon.